It's a pleasure to have you join me on this virtual journey. Welcome. We're thrilled to present to you our video dedicated to Aladdin franchise. Enjoy. Aladdin 1992 Disney film Aladdin 2019 film Aladdin 2019 film Star actor Aladdin Disney character Aladdin is a Disney media franchise comprising a film series and additional media. It began with the 1992 American animated feature of the same name, which was based on the tale of the same name, and was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker. The success of the film led to two direct-to-video sequels, a television series which had a crossover episode with Hercules, the animated series, a Broadway musical, a live-action remake, various rides and themed areas in Disney's theme parks, several video games, and merchandise, among other related works. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of films. Film US release date directors, screenwriters, story by producers, animated feature films, Aladdin November 25, 1992 John Musker and Ron Clements John Musker, Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio Bernie Massenson, Roger Allers, Diane Gippes, Kevin Harkey, Sue Nichols, Francis Gilbers, Daryl Rooney, Larry Lecker, James Fuji, Kirk Hansen, Kevin Lima, Rebecca Rees, David South Smith, Chris Sanders, Brian Pimentel and Patrick Ventura John Musker and Ron Clements The Return of Jafar May 20, 1994 Toby Shelton, Ted Stones and Alan Zaslove Kevin Campbell, Mirit J. S. Coal, Bill Motz, Steve Roberts, Deb Ross, Bob Roth, Jen Stannard and Brian Swenlin Dwayne Capizzi, Douglas Langale, Mark McCorkle, Robert Schooley and Ted Stones and Alan Zaslove Aladdin and the King of Thieves August 13, 1996 Ted Stones, Mark McCorkle and Robert Schooley Ted Stones and Jenin Russell live-action feature films Aladdin May 24, 2019 Guy Ritchie John August and Guy Ritchie Dan Lind and Jonathan Irek untitled Aladdin sequel TBA spin-off feature film untitled Prince and as spin-off TBA Jordan Dunn and Michael Cavan TBA. Let's transition to Aladdin 1992 and uncover its significance. Aladdin 1992. Aladdin was released in 1992. It was directed by John Musker and Ron Clements, and is based on the Arabic folktale of Aladdin and the magic lamp from the 1001 Nights. The plot follows street urchin Aladdin as he attempts to gain the affection of Princess Jasmine after acquiring a magic lamp. In this section, we'll be shedding light on the Return of Jafar 1994 and its impact on our understanding of the subject. The Return of Jafar 1994. Aladdin was followed by Disney's first direct-to-video sequel, The Return of Jafar in 1994. The plot mainly focused on Jafar seeking revenge on Aladdin. However, this time, with Iago on Aladdin's side, Abyss Mal becomes Jafar's new henchman. Now, Aladdin and company must find a way to thwart Jafar with his limitless genie power. Let's now turn our gaze towards Aladdin and the King of Thieves 1996 and explore the fascinating connections it has to offer. Aladdin and the King of Thieves 1996. In 1996, the second sequel to Aladdin, Aladdin and the King of Thieves was released on video. The story concludes as Aladdin and Jasmine are about to have their wedding and Aladdin discovers that his father is still alive, but is the leader of the 40 Thieves. As we embark on the next leg of our journey, let's unpack the layers of More Than a Peacock Princess 2007 and examine its core elements. More Than a Peacock Princess 2007. In 2005, screenwriter Robert Rees, who co-wrote Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time and The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Beginning, pitched a fourth Aladdin feature to Disney Studios execs, although it never came to fruition. In 2007, Disney Studios produced Disney Princess Enchanted Tales, Follow Your Dreams, a crossover film with Sleeping Beauty. The second half of the film, More Than a Peacock Princess, follows Princess Jasmine, sometime after the events of Aladdin and the King of Thieves as she becomes tired and bored of her usual princess duties, and upon requesting more responsibility from her father, is assigned the role of Royal Assistant Educator. Brace yourself for a deep dive into Aladdin 2019 as we explore its impact and relevance in our evolving narrative. Aladdin 2019. A live-action Aladdin movie was released on May 24, 2019, directed by Guy Ritchie with John August as the writer and Dan Lin and Jonathan Eyrick as the producers, and stars Mina Marsoud as Aladdin, Naomi Scott as Princess Jasmine, Marwan Kenzari as Jafar, and Will Smith as Genie. Get ready to uncover the mysteries surrounding Untitled Aladdin's sequel TBA as we navigate its intriguing terrain. Untitled Aladdin sequel TBA. On August 12, 2019, producer Dan Lin announced his enthusiasm for a sequel and revealed that Disney is in the early stages of developing a follow-up. The studio also hopes to bring back Guy Ritchie to direct and Will Smith to reprise his role as the genie while also telling a story that's fresh and new. On February 12, 2020, it was announced that Ritchie will be returning as director with Lin and Jonathan Eyrick returning as producers. In addition, Ryan Halpern joined the film as executive producer. With the groundwork laid, let's now examine Untitled Prince Anna's spin-off TBA and its connections to our previous discussions. Untitled Prince Anna's spin-off TBA. On December 6, 2019, a Hollywood Reporter reported that Disney was in the early stages of developing a spin-off of Aladdin for Disney centered on Prince Anna's, tentatively titled Prince Anna's, with Jordan Dunn and Michael Cobham writing the script and Billy Madison reprising his role. Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through Genie's TBA and its far-reaching implications. Genie's TBA. On July 15, 2015, it was reported that a live-action prequel to Aladdin 2019 was in development under the title Genies. The new film will reportedly focus on genies and their realm and reveal how Aladdin's genie ended up in the lamp. The film was being written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. Trip Vinson was to serve as a producer through Vinson Films. With that being said, let's now move on to Aladdin. Aladdin. Shortly after the return of Jafar, an animated series was produced. The episodes focused on Aladdin's adventures after the events of the second film. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening discussion on Descendants in the upcoming portion of this video. Descendants. Descendants is a live-action Disney Channel original film series based on the lives of the children of various Disney heroes and villains when they attend the same prep school. Jafar appears in the first film, as does his son, Jay, who additionally appears in 2 sequels. As we move forward, let's uncover the untold stories and fascinating intricacies of other shows. The Aladdin characters later made a crossover with Hercules, the animated series, and were featured as guests in the television series House of Mouse and related works to those series. Jafar was the leader of the villains in Mickey's House of Villains. As we enter this new chapter, let's navigate the complexities of Agrabah and unravel its multifaceted nature. Agrabah is a fictional sultanate that serves as the setting for the Aladdin franchise. Aladdin was initially intended to be set in the Iraqi city of Baghdad, but after the Gulf War happened, the name Agrabah was chosen as an approximate anagram of the name of the city of Baghdad. The time has come to unravel the secrets behind home media performance and gain a deeper understanding. Animated film video sales in the United States. Remake home entertainment revenue. Our focus now turns to critical and audience response, an important aspect of our discussion. Film Year Critics Audiences Rotten Tomatoes Metacritic CinemaScore Post-track Aladdin 1990 to 94% 74 reviews 86 25 reviews The Return of Jafar 1994 33% 12 reviews Rouse and Aladdin and the King of Thieves 1996 33% 12 reviews Aladdin 2019 57% 383 reviews 50 reviews. As we venture forward, let's take a closer look at video games and its impact on our understanding. Along with the film release, 3 different video games based on Aladdin were released. Disney's Aladdin, an international co-production between Virgin Games and Walt Disney Feature Animation for the Genesis, was released in late 1993 and later ported to Nintendo Entertainment System, PC, Game Boy and Game Boy Color. That same year, Capcom released a Super NES game, also called Disney's Aladdin, which was ported to the Game Boy Advance in 2002. In 1994, SIMS released another game called Disney's Aladdin for the Game Gear and Master System. These video games, based on the original Aladdin film, earned in sales revenue. The television series inspired another game by Argonaut Games, entitled Aladdin, Nasser's Revenge, and released in 2000 for the PlayStation and PC. Also, in 2004, Vivendi Universal released Disney's Aladdin Chess Adventures, a chess computer game with the Aladdin license. The Kingdom Hearts series features a playable Aladdin world known as Agrabah. In Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts: Chain of Memories, the plotline is loosely related to the storyline of the original film. In Kingdom Hearts 2, it is a mixture of Aladdin and the return of Jafar. Genie is also a recurring summon in the series. Aladdin, Jasmine, and the Genie appeared in the 2011 motion-controlled game, Kinect, Disneyland Adventures, as meet and greet characters. Aladdin was also referenced throughout the Disney Infinity series via power discs and in-game toys, with Aladdin and Jasmine being added to the series as playable characters in the series' second game, Disney Infinity 2. During a limited-time event focused on Aladdin, the world-builder game Disney Magic Kingdoms included Aladdin, Jasmine, Genie, Abu, Carpet, Jafar and Yogo as playable characters, along with some attractions based on the franchise, and costumes of Prince Ali and purple dress for Aladdin and Jasmine, respectively. The Sultan and Raja were also included as playable characters in a later update of the game. In the game, the characters are involved in new storylines that serve as a continuation of the Aladdin animated film, ignoring other material in the franchise. Moving forward, we'll be taking a closer look at Disney's Aladdin by Virgin Games. Disney's Aladdin was developed for the Mega Drive by Virgin Interactive's studio of Virgin Games, United States of America, and published by Sega in 1993. This was due to the fact that Sega had both obtained a license for publishing video games based on Disney's motion picture and established a collaboration deal with Disney's Animation Studios, which was a first in the video game industry, so Sega of America tasked the Virgin Games United States of America development team with the programming duties because of their successful previous efforts with McDonald's Global Gladiators and 7-Up School Spot. The game has been noted for its use of traditional animation, which was produced by Disney animators under the supervision of Virgin's animation staff, including animation producer Andy Lucky, technical director Paul Schmiedick, and animation director Mike Dietz, using an in-house digital process to compress the data onto the cartridge. The game also featured arrangements and original compositions composed by Donald South. Griffin. In the upcoming section, we'll be shining a light on Disney's Aladdin by Capcom. Was developed for the Super NES and published by Capcom separately from Virgin's version, since Capcom still held Disney licensing rights for Nintendo consoles at the time of the film's release. Although the game is still a side-scrolling platformer, it is significantly different in both presentation and gameplay. Similarly, following the movie's storyline, players control Aladdin as he jumps on enemies, vaults off stumps, and performs various acrobatic feats to get through levels. Throughout the level, Aladdin can collect apples to throw at enemies and golden scarves which unlock bonus stages. Throughout each level there are various diamonds, collecting all within a level also unlocking bonus stages, with players able to unlock an extra challenge if they collect 70 red diamonds. The game was later ported to the Game Boy Advance with extra stages, though all the songs based directly on the original movie were replaced with new music, possibly because of copyright reasons. It was also unofficially ported to the NES in 1995 by Hummer Team. Let's now turn our attention to Disney's Aladdin by SIMS and examine its role within a larger context. Disney's Aladdin was developed by SIMS and published by Sega. and released in 1994 for the Game Gear worldwide and for the Master System in Europe. Sega went on to produce this game since they already had the necessary intellectual property licensing rights in order to publish the Virgin Interactive game on the Mega Drive agencies. The game is also significantly different in gameplay compared to its Mega Drive counterpart. There are three main types of level: chase levels, in which Aladdin must outrun enemies while dodging obstacles; exploration levels, in which Aladdin must carefully navigate traps and solve puzzles, similar to Prince of Persia; and carpet levels, in which Aladdin rides his flying carpet. It also, unlike its 16-bit counterparts, fairly closely followed the plot of the movie, even including cutscenes containing entire dialogue scenes from the movie. Let's now enter the realm of Aladdin the series, Tower of Gold Adventure, and discover the fascinating stories it has to tell. Aladdin the series, Tower of Gold Adventure is a handheld electronic game that was developed and published by Tiger Electronics in 1994 in the United States. It is based on the television series of the same name. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into Disney's Aladdin Activity Center. Disney's Aladdin Activity Center is part of the Disney's Activity Center series. Let's now shift our focus to Disney's Aladdin Print Studio and explore the ways in which it shapes our perspective. Disney's Aladdin Print Studio is part of the Disney's Print Studio series. As we venture forward, let's take a closer look at Disney's Aladdin in Nasira's Revenge and its impact on our understanding. Disney's Aladdin in Nasira's Revenge is the Aladdin franchise video game which was developed for the PlayStation and PC by Argonaut Games and distributed by Disney Interactive in 2001. The game is set after the events of The Return of Jafar during the television series, and before Aladdin and the King of Thieves. The legendary city of Agrabah is in trouble again. The evil sorceress Nasira Jodie Benson is out to avenge the death of her brother, the nefarious sorcerer Jafar Jonathan Freeman. She begins her vengeful plot by taking over the palace with a spell and kidnapping Princess Jasmine Linda Larkin and the Sultan. She then commands the guards captain Rosal Jim Cummings to bring Aladdin Scott Winder to her. The treacherous Nasira believes that if she collects a set of ancient relics that are spread all over Agrabah, she might be able to revive Jafar and take over the world, and so she uses her captives to force Aladdin into doing this job for her. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards Disney's Aladdin Pinball. Disney's Aladdin Pinball is a video game developed for Windows by Disney Interactive and published by Disney Online. It was released on July 11, 2005. The game consists of 3 separate pinball tables that can be traversed in a single game. They include the Marketplace, the Cave of Wonders, and the Royal Palace. As we progress, let's zoom in on Disney's math quest with Aladdin and examine its role in shaping our overall narrative. Disney's Math Quest with Aladdin is a 1997 educational game by Disney Interactive and part of the Aladdin franchise. It was released as a CD-ROM for Windows and Macintosh personal computers. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of critical reception. Game Platform Developer Year Game Rankings Metacritic Disney's Aladdin Sega Mega Drive Genesis Virgin Games 1993 88% Rouse Band Disney's Aladdin Super Nintendo Entertainment System Capcom 1993 78% Disney's Aladdin in Nasira's Revenge Sony PlayStation Argonaut Games 2001 65% Disney's Aladdin Game Boy Advance Capcom 2004 65%. In this section, we'll be shedding light on musical theatre and its impact on our understanding of the subject. In November 2010, Alan Menken confirmed that a musical theatre adaptation of the show is in the works with a book written by Chad Bagelin. The show premiered at the Fifth Avenue Theatre from July 2011. Jonathan Freeman, who voiced Jafar in the film, played the role in the stage adaptation. Adam Jacobs and Courtney Reed played Aladdin and Jasmine. Additional actors included Sean G. Griffin as the Sultan, Don Darrell Rivera as Iago, and playing Omar, Babcock, and Qasim, a trio of characters originally conceived by the film's creators but not used, Andrew Keenan Bolger, Brian Gonzalez, and Brandon O'Neill. The show was also directed and choreographed by Casey Nicholaw. Another production of the musical played at the Mini Theatre in St. Louis from July 2012. The musical premiered on Broadway on February 26, 2014 in previews and officially opened on March 20, 2014 at the New Amsterdam Theatre, taking the place of Mary Poppins. The musical had a pre-Broadway tryout at the Ed Mirvish Theatre in Toronto lasting from November 13, 2013 to January 12, 2014. Casey Nicholaw directed and choreographed, with Chad Bagelin writing the book and additional lyrics, Bob Crowley as the scene designer, and costume design by Greg Barnes. Aladdin the musical was also opened at Tokyo's Dentsushiki Theatre Yumi in May 2015. It had its European premiere in December 2015 at the Stage Theatre Neue Flora in Hamburg. It opened in Sydney and London's West End in 2016. In addition, a stage adaptation of the movie has been created for younger students, known as Disney's Aladdin Junior. Licensing and performing rights are currently being held by Music Theatre International. MTI licenses both a kids version, which uses doubling to foster more of an ensemble feeling among young children, and a dual language version which takes the junior version and adds an element of half the characters speaking only in Spanish. A recording of the show will be released on Disney in 2023. Now, let's redirect our focus towards novels and discover its significance in our narrative. In 2015, Disney Press launched a young adult novel series that retells Disney films but with certain elements changed. The first novel in the series is A Whole New World, a twisted tale, written by Liz Braswell, a dark fantasy which retells the film but with Jafar gaining control of the genie before Aladdin does. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore attractions through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. The Magic Carpets of Aladdin, a Dumbo the Flying Elephant-like ride Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World Resort and Walt Disney Studios Park at Disneyland Resort Paris. Arabian Coaster Passage enchants Aladdin Adventureland Bazaar. The film also inspired a Disney on Ice presentation, as well as the show Disney's Aladdin, a musical spectacular at Disney California Adventure Park. The time has come to unravel the secrets behind meet and greets and gain a deeper understanding. Aladdin, Jasmine, Genie and the Sultan, and occasionally Jafar all appear as meetable characters in the Disney parks and resorts. They are all usually based in Adventureland. Remember, knowledge is power. Keep learning, growing, and exploring.